Hey candle friends, welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, well hello. I'm Ashley, I'm the owner of Mrs. Frizz & Co., a small batch handcrafted candle business located in Ontario, Canada. On this channel, we talk about everything from making candles and like products to a behind the scenes look at owning your own small handcrafted brand. If that's something that interests you, I would love for you to hit subscribe and come back. So today we're talking about something that's not like super fun, but it is very important and it's also highly requested. So I figured let's just do it. This is actually a part of a little mini series that I'm going to be doing about candle making business basics. So this is the first video for that. And we are going to talk about insurance. Womp womp. Do you really need it? What kind of insurance do you need? And where to find it here in Canada? Because it is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. So if you're really serious about turning a candle hobby into a thriving business, I would highly recommend coming back and checking out this little mini series where we will cover all the business basics, and I hope you find it helpful. Sorry, this is like my first time filming since summer's over. My kids are back at school. We're in routines. I still have a baby upstairs napping, but trying to get back into the groove of things. And if you are a candle maker who has done this for any amount of time, you know that we are in September and everything smells like pumpkin at the moment. It is about to get crazy up in here. So let's get these business basics out of the way so that we can move on to more fun topics. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so here's the deal. You make candles, you are aware that there is an open flame associated with them. That automatically comes with risk. We can give our customers all of the information in the world. You know, you put the warning labels on your candles, you might give them a candle care card. You can verbally explain to them like, hey, don't burn this for more than 4 hours, but accidents still happen. And insurance is basically your safety net that's going to cover you should, knock on wood, anything ever happen and a candle that you sold somebody causes damage to their property or someone gets hurt, okay? We don't want that. And it's a slim chance, you know, but we buy insurance for our cars. We buy insurance for our homes. How often do you get into a car accident? Again, knock on wood. I have been in one my whole life that I needed to use my insurance for. So I'm paying a considerable penny every month to have this insurance, and God forbid I need to use it, but I would rather know that it's there than take a chance and have something happen and not have it. So we need to think about the types of insurance to consider. That's going to be your general liability insurance. This covers you, for example, if someone trips over your booth at a market and gets hurt. Product liability insurance. Now, this is the big one. This is going to be if your product causes a customer any kind of damage or injury, their house catches fire, their shirt catches fire. Then the other insurance that you need to be aware of is event and market insurance. And this is going to be a requirement by the host of whatever show you're doing. They'll advise you if they require insurance for their show. And if they do, you will need to offer them a proof of insurance form before you can come to the event and set up. Typically, they'll ask for these to be emailed to them a week or so prior to the event, and you need to name them on the certificate as an additional insured. There is one other insurance I just want to touch on. This is not going to pertain to everybody, but that is a cyber liability insurance. And so that is if you are selling products from a website, should your website ever get hacked or you store customers' payment information, personal information of any kind, if you get hacked and now that information is in the hands of somebody else, that is when you will use your cyber liability insurance so that basically you're not held liable for the hacking, okay? The big thing to note is that rules could vary by province. I am in Ontario, okay? So everything I'm saying is Ontario specific. It shouldn't vary too much in other provinces, but definitely do a quick search, talk to a broker. When I first started looking for business insurance, I got a lot of rejections, just people saying it was actually my car diffusers. There was lots of companies that could insure my candles, but they didn't know what to do with my car diffusers. And that was weird. But the first person I called when I was looking for business insurance actually was my insurance broker. Now he deals with home and auto insurance, but he has a division at their brokerage who specialize in business insurance. Now, They weren't able to find insurance for me, but they definitely led me in a direction of somebody who could. And that is why I personally carry my insurance through Zensurance. So since I'm in Canada, this is kind of what it looks like here. Companies like Duo, True Shield, Zensurance, PAL Insurance, and there's lots of like local brokers that you can reach out to. Okay, so I'm going to be entirely honest with you guys. For about the first 5 months that I was selling my candles, I didn't carry insurance. If you've watched any of my older videos, you know that I kind of dove into this head first and didn't exactly plan like I should have. And so it literally just wasn't on my mind. And then as things started to pick up and I thought like, wow, this could be a sustainable thing for me to be doing, that is when I started looking into insurance. Like I said, I called my broker. And can I tell you that when I signed the paperwork and made my payment, I instantly started to sleep better. It was like I didn't know that not having insurance was a thing initially. And then as soon as I did know, like it took a couple weeks to get my policy. And it was stressful because I'm thinking like anything could happen, you know? It is not worth the risk to not have insurance. When I do need a certificate for a day market, I don't need to buy my insurance. A lot of times they'll have people, I think Duo is really big for like single day markets, and you can buy a policy for one day for that specific market. I never have to do that. I shoot a quick email off to my broker at Zensurance and I let them know who they need to list as additional insureds on my policy, and they issue me a certificate of insurance, and it's all said and done. It is included in what I paid when I signed up for my policy this year. Okay, which leads us to the financial burden of insurance. It's not cheap, but it is not expensive compared to lots of the other things us candle makers are buying. I'm looking at you, fragrance oil. It is easily paid for quickly. You know, you do not need to sell that much product to cover the cost of your yearly policy. So I will give you my policy cost is $628 a year. What is that? So at $628 a year, that means I am paying roughly $52 a month in insurance. That's nothing, you know, in the grand scheme of things. If your candle were to do damage to another person or their property, what is $52 a month? And like I said, like I had some issues with my insurance because of my car diffusers. So if you are only making like wax melts or like candles and wax melts, or if you're only making candles, this could be a lower number for you. Some Reddit groups and stuff, people who referenced only paying like $500 and something a year. So definitely this is going to look different for everybody. This is just what I am paying this specific year. It did go up a little bit over last year, but not a crazy amount. Like we're talking $30 a year or something like that. And I will say, if you break your payments up to pay monthly, it is more expensive. There's some kind of like monthly administration fee or something they tack onto that. So in addition to the $628, I do pay a $95 a year brokerage fee. But if you broke your payments up to pay monthly, there was an additional percentage that they charged you per month. So it worked out to be a few $100s more expensive to do it that way. So I just pay it in one lump sum. Again, this could vary depending on who you're using, but that's how it works with Zensurance. Okay, and so the one other thing I just want to touch on quickly before I wrap this up, because I know this is so boring, is if you make candles at your house, do you need additional insurance? And the answer is kind of yeah. Like you need to call your insurance broker or your insurance company and ask them. I can only speak on my particular situation. So our insurance provider actually allowed us to add a rider to our current policy, which extends the coverage to my workspace, my equipment, and liability up to a certain amount, so that if anything were to happen to my home business, I am covered. And you would again need to call your broker and see if this is something that you can add. If it's not, you are going to want to look into a separate policy, because there's lots of insurance companies out there that will deny your claim if your home business does damage or does damage to your home, or if your home business equipment is, say, stolen, they will probably deny the claim if it is not specifically listed as a rider or listed on its own policy. So again, I am not an insurance guru. I'm not an insurance anything. So all I do is buy insurance, but this has been my experience, and I think that the best thing you can do is reach out to an insurance expert. Brokers are so great for that. They will give you advice for free. So it does not hurt to call and ask. And if you don't have one, I mean, just Google, ask if you're in any community pages, like on Facebook or something, ask if anybody has a broker. I know I see that question asked in my like local town Facebook group all the time. People are always looking for mortgage brokers, insurance brokers. That's a great way to find somebody who comes recommended. The most important thing is to make sure that you are always telling your insurance provider what you're doing. I know it's scary, and it could cost you a little bit of money, but I think adding the rider to our insurance policy, our home insurance policy, I think it costs us $17 a month or something. Like, it was ridiculously cheap. And it just gives me peace of mind, obviously. If you don't tell your insurance company these important pieces of information, it could void your policy. They can deny you if something ever does happen, and that is way worse. Okay, so do you need insurance? Technically, no. People aren't going to ask you if you have it. But I will say that I actually mention my insurance to many customers, because I think it's a thing. Like, I'm selling you a candle and I'm telling you to take it home and light it on fire in your house that costs hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, possibly millions of dollars. It is very expensive where I live. And I want them to know that I'm serious. Like, I'm not just making candles, like this is a real business for me, and my products are safe, and God forbid one of them is faulty, I am insured. I think it also gives people peace of mind. People are buying Bath and Body Works candles knowing damn well that those are covered under some kind of policy. Okay. So no, technically, no, you do not need insurance unless it's a day market that requires it. And you just don't have to do those markets if you don't want to. But if you want this business to be a real business, if you are serious and committed to being a business owner, get the damn insurance, okay? You also don't need to be worrying about the fact that you don't have insurance, because that will lead to a lot of sleepless nights. Protect yourself, protect your business, and you will thank yourself later. So I would love for you, if you found this helpful, I would love for you to hit the like button. Is it like or thumbs up? It's been a minute. I would love for you to hit subscribe and come back for more videos. Keep an eye out for the business basics that are coming in the next couple weeks. Like I said, we're going to go over pricing and wholesale and just a bunch of boring things that people don't think about when they start their candle business and then decide that it's a real thing and they need to start scaling. Okay. And let me know in the comments. Do you carry insurance? Do you not? Why? I would be really interested to know. And if you have any questions about insurance that I did not cover, definitely let me know. And if I don't have the answer, I will reach out to my broker and get back to you. Okay? Okay. So have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, candle friends.